If I was to start an e-commerce brand today, what exactly would I do to start that brand? That's what I'm coming at this video from the frame of what I do to start an e-commerce brand today and grow that to 7 figures in the fastest way possible. Now, who am I? My name is Blake Bauer, and I am the co-founder of a digital advertising agency that works with e-commerce brands and helps them grow and scale to 7 and 8 figures called Jet Ads. And so I've worked over the last 4 or 5 years with a ton of different e-commerce brands from all different ranges and sizes, from below 6 figures per year to 7 figures per year to well over 8 figures per year. And I've seen the difference between all of those brands and really what it takes and what the difference is in a successful e-commerce brand versus one that's just really getting by. And so I wanted to tackle this video from that angle of exactly what I do and what I've seen would work best to start an e-commerce brand. So look, if I was to build a successful 7-figure e-commerce brand today, there's a couple of core principles that go into every successful e-com brand that you've probably bought from, that you like, that you shop from, and that is focus, right? And knowing what your differentiator is, right? And I remember when I started out, dropshipping and trying to build e-commerce brands, I did not know what I was trying to sell, and I did not have focus over an actual product and a brand and a positioning and an audience that I wanted to focus on, right? And so you've probably seen something like this, right? Well, when you have all of these different options right here, right? And let's say, you have multiple different products that you're trying to grow and launch that have potential, right? Multiple different, businesses potentially, and you're just spreading your focus, across all of these different things, right? And none of them are really doing anything, right? And that's kind of the problem and the trap that you can get into when starting an e-commerce brand is you're spreading your focus out way too thin when you should be doubling down on one singular product that you've researched and thought out well and have a differentiator on, right? And so you want to just cut out, again, all of this stuff. And when you do that, again, you can take that same circle and instead of applying it in a bunch of different directions, you can apply it instead in one singular direction, and you get a lot more output for your input in terms of growth and ROI, right? And so I would say, again, one product right here is the key. And honestly, I've seen it too many times where a lot of e-commerce brands, right, find success with an initial product. And instead of doubling down on that product and making everything run more efficient and getting more leverage out of what's already making the money, they end up spreading themselves too thin and trying to go this way and that way. And it really ends up in, negative dollars in all these other ventures. And you'd be surprised to see, the 8-figure, 7-figure brands, even 9-figure brands, right? The majority of their profit, right? Let's just do this as the leverage, right? This is the big driver of the business right here, right? Not all these other products that, end up losing the money. This one product is typically the main driver of the business, and having the focus around that is what you need to scale an e-commerce brand. So first of all, that's what I would first do, is have one product. Now, if I was to go back and also have an e-commerce brand and how I would scale that, I definitely would lean into something that you have a passion behind, something that you can actually commit to for the long term. So for example, me as an adult now, and at my age, I'm really into golf. I love golfing with my friends. I love golfing with my family. It's something that I'm very passionate about and I spend a lot of time doing. And so I'm very aware of the space. I'm very aware of the type of people that golf, very aware of the types of products that they use. And so when picking a product, I would double down on something that you're passionate about, that you can actually know the customer in the market well and position a product that that there's a pain point and a problem around that nobody's solving that great, that you can come in there with a unique product or at least a unique marketing angle to sell that product. And so again, I would just say, big letters right here, right? As point number 2, passion, right? Something that you're already doing, you want to double down on that, right? Double down on that. And that's, again, what's going to give you that longevity, because you don't want to think short term, where can I make a quick buck? You do want to be thinking something that you're passionate about, something that you know the market, right? And that is huge when it comes to success in e-commerce. All right, now the next biggest thing that I would focus on if I was trying to grow an e-commerce brand to 7 figures would be a content engine. And what I mean by that is content, right? I'm sure you're familiar with content, right? But like having a consistent pipeline of organic content on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever platforms that you choose. And the main ones are really going to be Instagram, and I think YouTube is a super strong platform, and also TikTok. So those are the 3 main ones that I would focus on. And having a content engine for all of those platforms is huge to getting organic reach, but also for developing that social proof and figuring out what content works and resonates, and then leveraging those insights and doubling down on your actual ad content, right? And so you can kind of think of it like a conveyor belt, right? Where you have all of these little ad units right here, right? Let's say you're uploading, 5 a day or something like that. Like genuinely, that's I think what it takes to win as an e-commerce brand. So you're shipping, 5 a day or whatever. So you just have a constant conveyor belt of content pieces of your product, people discovering your product, right? And again, hire somebody to either shoot content full time, or this should be your full time job, is just hiring people to produce content for your brand and build that following, build that attraction, right? And then you will have standout ones that do go a little bit viral, and when you're experimenting, right? And those standout ones can then turn into what you can actually leverage for an ad unit, because you know that this hook works really well. You get good at creating content, you get good at creating ads, which then you can double back, take this insights, put this into your ad engine, right? If we go down here, again, that's your content engine. So you take the best ones off of your actual content engine of your organic, and then you can feed that into your ad engine. And then again, you're just putting out constant winners where you're able to get that quick ROAS in the account, because you already know that the hook is positioned very well and the content is just going to work to actually streamline getting a lot of sales. Okay, now on the content engine, and speaking of ads, the biggest thing when it comes to e-commerce brands and the ones that are successful is they build their business to work with ads. They don't make ads work for their business. And a lot of that comes back to the first point in having one product with a clear differentiator, right? Solving a clear problem for a clear person that you know. So you know the pain points, you know the benefits, you know why your product exists in the marketplace and why it's better, right? And so a lot of that is just communicating that through your ads. And the biggest problem that I see with brands not being able to scale to 7 figures is their product is already out there in the market. It's nothing innovative, it's nothing new. It doesn't solve a clear problem for a clear person. It just doesn't have a place to exist in the market. The demand is not there, right? And so a lot of it, success in e-commerce comes down to picking the right niche, comes down to picking the right product. And so the research upfront, before you start the engine, before you start doing all of this, right, the vehicle that you pick in the product really makes the biggest difference when it comes to building a 7-figure brand. And again, a lot of that comes down to solving a big problem that people have that is not currently being solved. And it could be very niche, again, for golfers, for something very specific, right? It could be, as simple as some type of new grip that is shown to actually enhance the shot shape for slicers, right? And get rid of that slice because the grip is thicker and it's been, tested and proven to, make it better, and the marketing around it's really good, right? That's an example of a niche product that could do 7 figures because the golf market is so huge if you get the right marketing around it and you address the right problem, as an example there. And so when it comes to the ad side of things, pretty simple, right? Once you, again, have that product, you have that vehicle, ads should be doing well, but in order to really make them kind of go on fire, right, and go completely viral and make it so that your business, instead of going kind of, slow kind of growth, potentially even like plateauing at some points, right, to make your kind of business go instead more like parabola shaped, right, and kind of really scale into 7 figures quickly, right? And you might kind of sell out, so it might kind of go like this, right? And then you sell out, and then you come back, and then you sell out, and then you come back, right? In order for the business to kind of do that, you're going to need good advertising around your business. And so what I would do, again, once you have that content engine built out, right, you're able to ship out a lot of pieces of content. The biggest thing then comes down to using that as the same process for building out your ads. So instead of using that content engine for organic content, you use it for ads, right? And so to do that, what I would do is really focus 80% of your time on the hooks. And a simple process that we use, again, taking kind of from Alex Hormozi and some of the other people in the space, the hook is the most important thing. So you have the main components of the ad are the hook, okay, which is the first 3 to 5 seconds of a video ad, and video ads are going to be the best place to look at. Again, there, same with organic content. So you have your hook, right? I'm just going to say you have your body, and then you have your CTA. So you have your HBC, right? And so hooks, film 20 of these, right? 20 of these that get the attention of your ideal customer, that get the people starting to watch the video that you want. And if it's a mass consumable product, right, just get people to start watching, stop the scroll, something that's unique, that stands out, that looks organic in the feed. So boom, so you have 20 hooks. So if you just film 20 of those hooks during a content session, then what you can do is for bodies, film 5 value-packed body sections of the actual ad itself, right? So you can pair 20 of these hooks with 20 of these bodies, and then with 5 of these CTAs as well. And so what this gives you right here, if you multiply this all out in the different variations and combinations of these, this gives you 20 hooks paired with 5 bodies paired with 5 CTAs equals 500 ads, right? And that's a lot of ads right? But you can do that all in one filming session. And if you get somebody to splice these up, you can make a lot of ads really, really quickly. And this is really how you get that scale, right? When you have 500 ads to test, you're going to find ones that are standout winners. You're going to give Facebook and Instagram and TikTok the most potential volume to test different ads. And it's going to find one that really goes viral. And all you're looking for is one standout ad, right? That can get you to 7 figures. Like genuinely one standout ad that just makes your business go absolutely parabola shaped to 7 figures. It only takes one really well constructed ad, again, with a good product in the right market. That's how simple it can really be there. And it takes a lot of time, right? It takes you to have this content engine, takes you to have this skill. And so invest into developing this skill and building out how to create ads and just how to test a ton of ads, how to use the softwares to actually create them. Do that yourself initially, right? And figure out how to test ads. And then again, once you find one that works really well, it's going to, be insane for your business because it's going to be getting a really cheap cost per click. The conversions are going to be coming in and everything is going to be firing on all cylinders for your business to really take off. And then you don't want to stop after one. That's where you want to continue to double down on this and can keep finding winners that you can keep on scaling, having all of that engagement there, and your brand just going to keep on growing and growing and growing because you're profitably acquiring customers. The other points of that is landing pages. I wouldn't focus a ton on landing pages, but just focus on having a good, clean website. So this is where I would personally invest into an agency, right? So agency, really bad looking there, right? For your website, right? So let's say this is your website, okay? Invest into an agency for your website. They're going to design something that's really awesome, really custom, and I would recommend that. Makes your brand stand out way more than all the other like little drop shipping sites that are out there that look cheap and feel cheap. Once you have a good website, you're good to go. I would just use that landing page and it'll convert quite high as long as it looks professional, looks clean, looks like a real e-commerce brand. Okay. Now, genuinely, those are the 3 main things that I would do to scale a brand. I would focus on the product, right? That's the biggest thing to get right. Focusing on the product, making sure it is the right market, making sure it is something unique that you can scale, that has that quality to work on ads that people are going to buy more impulsively. Right. And then it's building that content engine and building that ad engine to constantly test and building a nice website that goes around it. And then the other thing, and the last few things that I would work on, this is more long-term to increase that customer lifetime value and also to maximize your profit, is starting to buy more in bulk and more custom in terms of the packaging, right? And so this kind of all goes together and related to the product side. But if we look at like, let's say, your product right here, right? Little like water bottle action, right? Let's say that's your product right there, right? And essentially what you want to do is have your V1 model, right? That's pretty good. And just always be working on a V2 model, right? Don't let competition kind of outpace you. You want to constantly be working on the next variation once you have profit coming in the door. So it's continuing to drive up this V1 model while working on a V2 model to enhance the experience for your customers. This allows you to also drive up price over time because you can afford to charge people more for something that's more custom and that has more innovation behind it, that you've invested more money and resources into, right? And over time as well, once you're able to buy more volume of product, let's say you're selling V1 very, very well, right? Then you can use that profit to buy more bulk, right? And drive your COGS down. So your cost of goods sold, you can then drive that down by buying a lot more volume. So continue to drive your COGS down, invest that into a V2 product as well to drive innovation and stave off kind of competition there. And those are the other main points to the actual formula. And again, then you will have your, V2 model that looks, whatever, more sleek. It's better in every way, right? And that's how you can continue to stay ahead of the market, right? Focusing on that core product that made you work, not trying to expand to additional products, just continuing to iterate on this one product that's working very well. There's always going to be new entrants into the market typically, right? No matter what product you sell, there's new entrants, there's people that exit the market, but there's always going to be new demand for any given product and people want to rebuy things, etc. So you need to focus on that core product that made it work, have that content engine, and that's how I personally would scale a new e-commerce brand to 7 figures quickly in today's kind of challenging e-commerce marketplace. All right, thanks a lot. I hope you found that valuable. And if you are an e-commerce brand, there's some links in the description. There's also some links to my YouTube as well, where you can go check out Jet Ads. It's D2C ads made simple for e-commerce brands. If you're wanting help actually starting and scaling your advertising and growing to 7-8 figures with your e-commerce brand, we can help you with that. So feel free to reach out, put an application in and see if you qualify. And with that, thank you so much for watching the video. Stick around and subscribe for other videos in the e-commerce space if you're a brand owner or just wanting to learn more about the space. And until the next video, hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See ya.